SONAR X3 Producer comes bundled with Strum Acoustic Session Sonar Edition from Applied Acoustic Systems. It is a soft synth that not only simulates the sound of an acoustic guitar, but can also simulate the playing techniques a guitarist uses. Loaded in the same way as any other soft synth with default settings, the interface will open. To the left is a preset area for loading the included presets as well as saving your own. There's also a menu button here for greater program control. The main interface is divided into 3 sections. At the top is the effects section, which is used to shape the final output. The center section contains controls that affects how the guitar sounds. The bottom section is where the chord detection and voicing is controlled, as well as controls for how the strumming and voicings are performed. Let's look at this section first. Strum Acoustic Session can be triggered with either a MIDI instrument such as a keyboard or using MIDI loops. To load a loop, either drag and drop it onto the Drag MIDI icon in the MIDI player section or use the load icon. Once loaded, they can be played back using the player. The chord detection and voicing section processes the chord, either from a MIDI loop or played on a keyboard, and plays it the same way a guitarist would. Chords need to consist of a minimum of 3 notes. Any less in strum assumes they are solo notes, playing together rather than a full chord. The resulting chord shape is shown on the fretboard graphic in the center of this section. Chords also need to be played using MIDI keyboard notes 70 or less. That is B-flat 4 or lower. Notes 72 and higher are used to simulate the right hand of a guitarist and the various techniques used. 72 plays a down strum, 73 a palm-muted down strum, and 78 a scratched downstroke. The equivalent upstrokes are notes 74, 75, and 80, respectively. Note 82 will mute all notes as if the guitarist's hand has been laid across the strings. Single notes are played using 76, 77, 79, 81, 83, and 84. Although in most cases these correspond to strings 6 to 1, notes 76 and 77 can play either strings 6 or 5, depending on the inversion type and how it is combined with the lowest or root setting. Pull-offs and hammer-ons can be played by holding a note down and striking a note beneath or above it, respectively. The lowest or root setting decides how chords are played depending on the input notes. It is changed in the chord module of the detection section. In Strum Acoustic Session, this is limited to the choice of 2 types of movable chords, whereas the full version also has open and drop type chord options. It affects the way Strum plays chords, especially if the lowest input note played isn't the root note of the chord. This type of chord is called an inversion. If root is selected, Strum will play the root note as the lowest note regardless of the input notes. For example, if the input notes are from low to high, G minor, C, and D minor, Strum plays back the C chord, and C is the lowest note played. If this is changed, the lowest strum still plays a C chord, but this time maintains the inversion with G as the lowest note played. The strumming section sets speed and velocity for the strum, and if auto is selected, a strum is played as soon as a chord is detected. If auto is turned off, strumming must be done manually, using the MIDI note numbers mentioned earlier. Reducing speed completely slows the strum to almost a fast, appreciated picked line. The tuning module allows tuning to be adjusted either up or down by a semitone or increased by an octave. The pitch wheel module assigns the pitch wheel to either strand bends or slides. Range controls the range of the bend or slide. If a chord is played, only the lowest note is bent, but slide affects the whole chord. If your keyboard transmits aftertouch data, it can be used to bend strings, and the depth of the bend is controlled with the depth parameter. The guitar module on the instrument section controls the type of strings and whether they are played with pick or fingers. Pick fingers module controls where the picking hand is in relation to the bridge or fretboard. Turn fully anti-clockwise moves picking closer to the bridge, producing a more metallic, bright tone. Closer to the fretboard produces a fuller sound. The tone control in the body module adjusts the overall tone by simulating guitar body size and the influence the soundboard has on the sound. Fully anti-clockwise reduces the amount of higher frequencies present, while fully clockwise reduces the effect the body has, resulting in a brighter sound. In the global module is the velocity control. Turned anti-clockwise, it reduces the dynamics of the keyboard. Clockwise increases dynamics. In the effects section, there is an equalizer for adjusting the overall output, and reverb can be added using the reverb module. The EQ consists of an adjustable high-pass filter, low and high shelf filters, as well as a peak filter with variable center frequency, ranging from 120 Hz to 2500 Hz. Reverb has several basic room types with adjustment for the decay time and how high frequencies are reduced with the color control. Mix adjusts the mix level between dry and wet levels. That's Strum Acoustic Session, a great sounding guitar synth with control over playing technique as well as tone.